At the beginning of the story, we are shown a man named Walter Mitty, who works in a photo magazine called Life. Walter is an introvert who is lost in his own thoughts. Then we are shown that Walter is noting down his daily expenses in his diary. After doing all this, Walter opens a dating website on his laptop, which has Walter's account. The purpose of opening his account is only that there is a woman working in his office, whose name is Cheryl. Walter likes her very much. Then Walter opens Cheryl's account and sees her likes and dislikes. Walter wants to send her a friend request, but because of his shy nature, he finds this work very difficult. He sits away from the laptop, but after a while, he sends a friend request. But for some reason, Cheryl does not receive the request and there is an error. After which he tries again, but does not receive the request again. After which he leaves for his office. Then he reaches the metro station, where he calls the customer care of the dating website. On the other hand, there is a person named Todd on the phone. So Walter tells him about the error in his profile. So Todd tells him that he has not filled his profile completely, nor has he put up his profile photo. So he advises him to fill his profile completely and share good things about him on his profile, and share his life experience on his profile. Basically, he tells him to show off on his profile. So Walter tells him that his nature is not like that, nor does he have anything in his life that he mentions on his profile. Talking on the phone, he suddenly hears the barking of a dog. So he runs that way and shouts from the metro bridge. He jumps straight into the building from a window and takes a dog in his arms and comes out of the building. Then there is a powerful blast in the building. And we see that this dog belongs to Cheryl. So Walter gives him a dog. Cheryl is very impressed by him. As soon as Walter starts talking to him, the train sounds, and Walter's dream breaks and his train misses. Here we find out that Walter has a habit of dreaming during the day. He often gets lost in these dreams and gets lost in his real life. He is still on call with Todd. Now he runs to his office. Then we see Walter's sister, Odessa, who has come to wish him a happy birthday. She brings Walter his favorite cake, which his mother often made for him. Walter thanked her and told her to go back because his mother is alone at home. After this, he meets some of his colleagues who tell him that the magazine is being made online soon. Because of this, many people are being removed from their jobs. Hearing this, Walter gets worried. Then a man comes who is listening to him, who tells himself his new boss, whose name is Tom. After which the people introduce him. He asks Walter about his work. And looking at the cake in his hand, he makes fun of him. On the other hand, Walter again gets lost in his dream world. He makes fun of Tom's beard in his dream, and his colleagues laugh at him. When he comes out of his dream, nothing like this would have happened. He stands quietly and introduces himself to Tom. And he tells Tom about his work. He tells him that he is the negative asset manager in the magazine. And the negatives of the photos printed in the magazine first come to him. After which they are printed in the magazine. After which, Walter reaches his workplace, where his colleague Hernando tells him about a negative roll, which is sent by a famous photojournalist, Sean. Walter and Sean have been working together for the past 16 years, but during these 16 years, they had not met each other even once. As soon as he heard that the magazine was closed, he sends a leather purse as a gift to Sean Walter, and also sends a letter, in which Sean thanks Walter for the hard work done in these 16 years, and tells him to print negative number 25 on the cover page of the last edition of the magazine. After which his colleague shows him all the negatives, in which number 25 is missing. Then he comes to his co-worker's room and tells him that his new boss Tom wants to see the cover photo as soon as possible. Then Tom is shown reading the telegram sent by Sean to everyone, in which Sean mentions negative number 25. Then he asks Walter for that negative. Then Walter tells him that the negative has been sent for processing. After all this, Walter looks at Cheryl, and he talks to her courageously and asks for help from her, because Cheryl works in the account department. He introduces Cheryl to him. He asks Cheryl if she can tell Sean's address. Cheryl tells him that Sean is a freelancer photographer. That's why he doesn't have his address. Then Hernando comes there, and tells him that all the photos from number 25 to number 28 have been taken in one day, from which Sean's location can be found. After which, Walter tells him to print the photos of all the negatives. In the afternoon, Walter carefully looks at all the photos, so that Sean's location can be found. Then Cheryl comes there. She asks him about the number 25 photo. Then Walter tells him everything. After this, Cheryl tries to help him. And she also looks at the photos carefully, but she can't help him much, and starts going from there. But Walter again gets lost in his dream world. After which, he gets a call from his sister, and he goes to his house, where his sister tells him that his mother's piano is not fitting in the apartment. After all this, she gives Walter a gift on his birthday. Then Walter finds some old things in his luggage, in which there is a travel bag and a travel diary. Neither has he ever used that bag, nor has he written anything on that diary. When he comes to the office, Hernando gives him a photo. Walter looks at him carefully. That photo is of a ship. Then he meets his boss. Then Walter checks the paper in which the cake was wrapped, on which the name of a volcano was written. Then the crew member tells him that the investigation will pass from the city near the volcano tomorrow. That's why he can go there to find Sean. The next morning, the ship arrives there. After which, Walter has to run to get a cycle standing there. After which, he sets out on his journey and enjoys the views of nature. Meanwhile, Walter again gets lost in his dream world. He sees Cheryl's face in the sky, after which he collides with a pole, and his cycle also breaks, after which he runs and completes his journey. He reaches a village where there are some people. He asks the children about the location of the volcano. Because of not being able to understand the language of those children, Walter does not know anything. After which, Walter tries to buy his skateboard from those children. In return, he tries to change the gift given to him by his sister. After which, the child gives him a skateboard. Then Walter goes inside a hotel to find out the location, and asks the owner of the hotel about Sean. Then he tells him that I had arranged a plane for him. After which, he points his hand towards the volcano, and tells him that he has gone that way. After which, Walter runs towards the volcano. The owner of the hotel tries to stop him, but Walter does not listen to him. And with the help of the skateboard, he reaches a village, which is completely empty, where he does not see a single person. After which, the owner of the hotel brings a car and asks him to sit in the car, but Walter does not understand his language. Then a plane passes over his head, on whose wings Sean rides, who has a camera in his hand. He is going towards the volcano in front of him. At the same time, Walter also sees the volcano bursting, after which he gets scared and gets in the car. Then the owner of the hotel and Walter somehow save their lives. Get out of the volcano. After which, the owner of the hotel leaves him outside a restaurant. Walter thanks him for coming back and saving his life. After this, Walter is shown in the restaurant, where he is writing an account of his expenses. After which, he comes out of the restaurant and calls Cheryl. They talk a little. After a while, Walter gets a message from Hernando, in which he tells that he has been fired, and asks him to reach the office as soon as possible. After which, Walter returns to his city. Upon reaching the office, he meets his boss, who asks him for a photo again. Walter tries to make him understand, but he does not listen to him, and fires him. After this, Hernando tells him that Cheryl has also been fired, after which Walter goes to Cheryl's house to meet her. But the door of the house opens Cheryl's access band. After which, he goes inside the house to call Cheryl, but without meeting and talking to Cheryl. After which, he leaves the house with a skateboard. After which, he goes to meet his mother, where his sister asks him to give a tip to the delivery boy. Walter takes out his wallet to pay, after which he throws it in the dustbin, because it was given to him by Sean. After which, he sits on the sofa in sadness and looks at the photos taken by Sean. Only then his attention goes to the piano in front. The photos taken by Sean. They match the structure of the piano. So Walter asks his mother, "Did anyone take a picture of their piano?" So his mother tells him that he took a picture with Sean's camera. After hearing this, Walter is surprised. So his mother tells him that last week Sean came to his house, and he praised your work a lot, and while leaving, he took the cake made by him. So Walter asks his mother, why didn't she tell him? so his mother tells him that she had told him. But maybe you were lost in your dreams at that time. After which, Walter tells his mother the whole story. How she's going to lose her job because of a negative. So his mother tells him to find a negative as soon as possible, to save his job. So he again searches the words written on the wrapper of the cake on the internet. After which he finds out that Sean's next destination is Hindu Kashki Mountains, Afghanistan. After which he takes his travel bag and his old diary and leaves for his next journey. During his journey, he meets people. There are 2 mountain people among them, who are the original inhabitants of that place, who help him to climb the mountain and show him the way. On the way, he meets some terrorists, to whom he gives the cake made by his mother. After which they let him go ahead. After going ahead, they ask Walter to go ahead alone. After which Walter goes ahead alone. After reaching the top of the mountain, he gets a call from Todd, who tells him that a lot of women are coming to his account. The reason for this was that all the adventures of Todd Walter, whatever he was doing during this journey, he was updating it on his profile, because of which his profile becomes famous. Then Walter tells him that he wants to close his profile, because he can no longer afford his service. After which a man's voice comes, who tells Walter to be quiet. Walter turns around and sees, so that man is no one else but Sean. Walter is surprised to see him. After a while, Walter introduces Sean to him, after which Walter talks to him and tells him that because he did not get negative number 25, his job is gone. So Sean tells him that he had kept the negative in that wallet. After hearing this, there was no limit to defeat Walter. So he tells Sean that he could have sent the negative with another negative. So Sean tells him that he just wanted to surprise him. During all this, there are some talks between them. After which Sean shows Walter a snow leopard. So Walter tells him to click his photo. But Sean says that he often sees and feels things. Sometimes he takes photos, and sometimes he only keeps those things in his memories. After which they both play football with some children present there. After this, Walter comes back, but he is stopped at the airport for checking, because he has come from Afghanistan. After which the police officer asks him to bring a person of his identity. After which he calls the tour who works in the dating website, with whom he often talks only on the phone, who comes and gives his statement and gets him released. After which they both go to a restaurant. There are some talks between them. After a few days, Walter has to sell his mother's piano. Because of losing his job, his financial condition is not good. After which his mother gives him the same purse that Sean had sent him, which he had thrown in the dustbin. But his mother had kept it safely. After seeing this, Walter becomes very happy. He takes out the negative from the purse and takes it to the magazine office and puts it on his boss's table. After which he asks him the motto of his company, but he does not know. After which he makes his boss feel that the people whom you have shown the way out of the company, they have come to win this motto for years. With the hard work of those people, the company has reached this point today. After which he leaves from there. Then he goes to a restaurant and prepares for his new job there. During this time, he gets a mail in which Cheryl's son is skateboarding. He thanks him for giving him a skateboard. After a few days, Walter goes to the office of Life magazine for the settlement of his salary account, where he sees Cheryl. After which there are some talks between these two. Then Walter tells him how when he lost his courage looking for Sean, then his memories gave him courage and inspired him to move forward. He tells him that during these days he has been imagining him. Then Cheryl asks him why he didn't come to his house. Then Walter says that he felt that his mind has been cured by his husband. Then Cheryl tells him that there is nothing like that. He had only come to fix his fridge. After which Walter apologizes to him for his behavior. During this time, he reaches a bookstore, where he sees the last edition of Life magazine, on whose cover page Walter's photo is printed. Seeing which these two are surprised. After which, instead of buying Walter magazine, Cheryl holds his hand and feels this moment and starts living it, as Sean had told him, that he often does not click photos, he only feels that time and lives that time. Here ends the story.